I'm gonna. Do you have any idea how many years it's been?
Man, I can't remember, bro.
I know. I'm gonna have to look it up here.
Uh,
So 15 years was last year, it says.
okay.
I guess we did our 15th during the pandemic 1 year ago.
Right.
I had shaved my beard and I look ridiculous. I'll just put this in the chat for anyone. Anyone who finds this. Like my girlfriend.
Right. I gotta meet her, man.
Yeah. Because I look, my whole face looks like your head, basically. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Man, I'm tired. I gotta admit. And there's some things, that I do want to talk to you about that I won't be able to talk to you about on this live stream.
Right.
Probably more than a few. But yeah, in case anybody noticed this light just came on, it's because my friend Costello is staying with me right now. This house is not haunted.
Brother Costello?
Brother Costello.
What?
Yeah, man, because I was on the road for like 2 weeks. I was gone for like 2 weeks, so he was here, house sitting and dog sitting for me. Yeah.
Tell him I said what's up, man. He hits me up every once in a while.
Yep. So. Yep. He's a good brother. Good brother, Costello. Yeah, man. So this is, 15 was a big one, last year. So 16, here we are.
16 years.
Still going strong. Not celebrating like a major milestone, although it kind of feels like we're coming out of the pandemic in some ways.
Right.
Although I'm still kind of bracing myself for the potential for like another variant, another wave of something. Just I feel a little bit uneasy. I don't know how you're feeling about it, but
yeah. Well, I mean, here, man, people have kind of taken out all the stops, all the restrictions here, man.
Yeah, it's like Matt.
It's like it's left up to individuals whether or not to wear a mask or whatever.
Yeah.
But I did see a news alert early today about another variant in Israel. So,
well, in some countries that really locked down hardcore are just now getting hit with Omicron, and cases are spiking again. So there's like, what I've been reading is the potential for there to be like two waves this summer, an Omicron wave in certain countries, and then like another variant potentially here, right. Like an Omicron variant here in the US. So
yeah,
like I get it. Like I get it. I don't enjoy wearing a mask all the time, but like,
yeah.
My girlfriend has 3 young kids, right? And not all are vaccinated or able to be vaccinated.
Right.
So like, I gotta be careful because I can't get sick. And if I get sick, then I don't get to see her, and that's not good.
Right.
Because I don't want her to get sick. I don't want her kids to get sick. So yeah, right. Yeah. There's all those considerations and stuff.
So man, so a lot has transpired in the last 16 years.
Well, yeah. Well, even in the last year since we talked last. So this is my new house. I don't think you've been here, have you? Yeah.
No, just virtually, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be making a trip soon.
Yeah, yeah. I know you had that one work trip that ended up not happening in January or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, we got to get you out here soon to just come and spend a weekend or something, hang out. That'd be good.
So for those who are watching, just to let you know, me and Steve had this tradition. Because the first time we actually hung out, just me and him, was at a bar in Charlotte on St. Patrick's Day.
That's right.
And so, yeah, so we kept this tradition going. So we get together, talk about life, where we've been, where we're going, how we're doing. You know, we might get into some social issues or something like that. But, you know, this is my brother right here. And so I love him as if he was my own, like literally blood brother. And so I appreciate him.
Mm.
And, you know, in these days, man, it's hard to have people. It's just a challenge, I think, to have people that you think, because you got some people that are with you for a season.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got people that's, you know, with you for life, you know, and I always felt like Steve's one of them life type brothers. Like we're gonna grow old together. If we grow old, you know, we don't know what's gonna happen.
We
I mean,
better. Yeah. Yeah.
could be an alien attack, you know, it could be a catastrophe. Who knows? Earth could be thrown off his axis and it goes into the sun. We don't know. But anyways, you know, I plan on growing old with this guy. And so, but you also, you know, you have friends you grow old with, but you also, you know, the thing I love about our friendship, brother, is that it's not just the personal aspect of it, it's also the ways in which we've been able to move together in the world together.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right on.
I was thinking the other day about, today I was thinking about, in lead up to this, I was getting on live tonight. I was thinking about two characteristics or two elements. I think people can I think we can characterize our friendship in many dimensions, but two of them is one. Our friendship reminds me that friendship is a political act.
Mm. Right on.
Right. A particular kind of friendship, that true, authentic friendships, or as the great Greek philosopher. You know, I got to get deep tonight, right?
Yeah, man. Go there.
So the great political philosopher, moral philosopher, what do you want to call him? Aristotle describes the different kinds of friends. And so, you know, first friends are friends of utility. These are people that are just useful, of what we say today as associates, acquaintances, or networking, right? People we network with. Then he talks about friendships of pleasure, people we just hang out with, have a good time, blah, blah, blah. And the third level of friendship, which Aristotle says is the highest form of friendship, which I think is a political act, is friendships of virtue. And what that is, and not virtue in a teetotaling kind of way, but virtue in a true classic sense of excellence, of pulling what's the best out of each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, I always looked at our friendship in that way. You know, we know how to have a good time together. You know, something that we won't talk about in the live tonight, but but you know, and we've done business together. We've networked and we've done
Yeah.
things, created things
Yeah.
together. But I think that, you know, when we get together and we challenge each other, we pull the best out of each other, and so, you know, that's kind of, you know, that's how I looked at our friendship. You know, it's
Yeah.
more just buddies hanging out, having a good time. It's also about we're on this adventure, and we obviously have. We all have our own worlds that we live in with family and friends and the things we do during the day.
Yeah.
But when we look at our friendship over the years, it's not just that it's impacted us, but the way that we've been friends has made an impact in the world.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Sorry, man. I went heavy like that early, bro. So
you I mean, the first time we met, so I was telling Ashley, my girlfriend, the story the other night, because she was asking me how we originally met. I was like, well, I was leading this meetup group in Charlotte. She was like, what's a meetup group? So then I had to explain meetup.com. It's this website that used to, people used to use it was like a social networking platform and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so we had this group and we were meeting at that time at the Caribou Coffee. I don't even know if Caribou Coffee is still there in Dilworth, the Dilworth neighborhood of Charlotte, North Carolina. And meeting once a month to have sort of like, pseudo intellectual conversations about theology and church and all this stuff. And you and Rod Garvin, I guess, found it on Meetup and showed up there. And I just remember from meeting you the first time, I was like, man, I need to get to know you. I like, let's hang out. I want, I just never met anybody like you that had your personality, but your intellect, you're just everything about you. I was just like, man, I need to get to know this guy. And it has been, and then we made plans to hang out on St. Patrick's Day, and the rest is history. But it has been more than probably any. I'm grateful for the long friendships and close friendships that I have, but more than probably any other, like, I feel like our friendship has been the most life-changing for me. It's just, it's impacted me at probably the deepest core levels of who I am. And a big part of that is being a white guy, figuring out that I've got a lot of blind prejudice and white supremacy and all, all that stuff, that just having a friend like you to be able to just shoot straight and be super gracious and patient through lots of conversations and lots of navigating difficult things over the years. Like my girlfriend.
Right. I gotta meet her, man.
Is that you? Are you playing the Facebook? I hear it coming through.
I had to mute my Facebook. But that's funny how that came up at the same time. But man. It's funny, like here where I live now, man. When I meet white people here in Salisbury, for some people, sometimes I when I run into people here, I may be seen as, which is crazy, I may be seen as a radical or something, right? Or some kind of prophetic John the Baptist type or something like that. And
you don't see yourself as a radical?
Nah, man, I see you as a radical. That's your job. Like, you check in and clock out at the end of the day.
Well, that's a whole other conversation.
But the thing is interesting though is like, it's funny how people sometimes they react to how sometimes I can be blunt about especially like racism and such. And there's literally, I've had people come to me, it's like, you gotta be careful because you may, and what it is, people concerned about the fragility of white folk when you're dealing with serious
issues. Yeah.
So for me, it's like I've had to learn how to walk that line. Like, there's times you got to hold people accountable. There's times when you got to push.
Yeah.
And I had to remind people, like, this is not my first time dealing with white folks. You know what I mean? Like you, man. Like, you're my friend. But we've learned together. And so so you like my token white guy who woke up. So I got this friend named Steve, right? And he used to work for Billy. He used to work for Billy Graham.
That's right. I was probably working 16 years ago. Yeah, I was working for Billy Graham.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
And you had your own internal tensions with that, what was going on. But I'm like, I was telling, especially Black folk here, I'm like, yo, one of the worst things you can do with white people that you call your friend is not tell them the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Or not speak your truth to them.
Yeah.
You think you holding off, saving their feelings, whatever. But at the end of the day, you might be forestalling their transformation because you're more concerned about their fragility than their transformation into a human being. You know what I mean? And it goes both ways, man. I learned a lot, from you, man. You taught me. One thing you taught me, man, and you know this about me, like, the thing I love about Steve is, he may not seem like it, but Steve is a go-getter, man. Right? Steve's got this thing.
I know I look like a schlubby guy who just sits around on his couch all day.
But Steve's one of the dudes, like, and so for me, I was always kind of like, God will take care of it. The will of God will unfold. And, don't worry about it, man. It'll be okay. Yeah. He's like, no, we got to go get this. We got to go do this. I need you in this room right here. I need you to go talk to these. We need to go, man. We got to go. I'm like, man, chill, man. But your, what's another word for that? Go get it.
Self-starter.
Yeah, self-starter, initiative.
For
a long time in my own life, I lacked that, like, and because I had bought into a certain worldview at the time, and that God's going to take care of everything. God's going to literally, like, let go and let God kind of believe.
Yeah.
Whatever. And, but I think I learned from you, man, like, and even that journey together with Transform, when we found it Transform together.
Yeah.
The thing I learned from that was, if you don't put anything out in the universe, nothing's coming back unless you're lucky.
Right.
You have to do something.
Yeah.
And, so like I tell people all the time, when you look at the story of Exodus, when God splits the Red Sea, them jokers still had to walk across the Red Sea on dry land.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? God didn't Uber them across the dry Red Sea, the dry land, right? They still had to walk across that,
And you see those, those pictures of those walls of waves on either side. You still gotta, put one foot in front of the other and get your ass on to the other side.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, so man, you really put that in me, man.
Well, and to your credit, you've been willing to go along with, more than a few of my crazy ideas and schemes over the years. Right. And always made things better than if I was just doing it by myself. I think about, and I know I have the recording somewhere, but there is, we did a podcast together like years and years ago.
Right.
Brothers Costello is bringing me my power cord for my computer. I can plug in. Yeah, like sometimes I think about the fact that we did a podcast years and years and years ago, and like I think we were just way ahead of our time. Because like we quit podcasting before podcasting became this huge thing. Now it's like this huge thing, and I'm like, I don't, maybe I'll have energy. Maybe we'll both find the time to do a podcast together again.
Because it was funny, because I remember the guys had to mail it. they had to ship the equipment to us from Texas or Oklahoma somewhere.
Yeah.
And like now you just whip out your phone and just go with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. But
yeah, that was good times. That was a good time. Me, you, and Rod.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna plug in my laptop here real quick. So the podcast was called Practicing Pentecost.
Oh yeah.
And it was the three of us with Rod Garver, and it was like a startup company called Wired Parish, and I'm for blanking on the guy's name who started the thing, but Brian McLaren, I think, was the one who hooked us up with him, and
right,
and they sent us all this equipment, this big box full of audio, like recording equipment, and like we had to be online, like at the same time, like they were in a recording studio or they were at their computer somewhere in Florida, or I don't know where they were, and so they would record us having our conversation for like an hour or whatever, and they were.
The recording still exists.
I have a CD.
Oh wow, CD! Wow,
a CD-ROM burned with all of these audio recordings somewhere. I've moved so many times now, but I know it exists. I just haven't found it to pull it out.
Pentecost.
I mean, I don't think I have a machine. I don't have a computer that has a CD drive anymore that could even play these things. I don't even.
You had to get a special deal there.
I think to myself, man, I want to find that. I want to try to listen to some of those again. We were just
I remember wrestling.
Too ahead of our time.
I remember wrestling with that, because I mean that turned into a chapter in a book that I wrote with Brian and Shane and Practicing Pentecost, which I think was the first time I got published with Baker. Man, yeah, that was quite a
nice.
That was some good work, man.
Nice, yeah. And I saw your post today or recently about and I know we've talked about it over the years. You've had some great ideas for, doing some fiction writing stuff. So sounds like you're maybe getting a little bit more serious about trying to dig in there.
Well, yeah, I'm just trying to map out a little bit of what retirement's going to look like. So I'm heading into that zone here, hopefully shortly, hopefully within a month. We'll see.
Dude, that would be amazing.
Oh yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. So, I just haven't had the bandwidth to do any kind of writing, serious writing. Working 8 hours, pastoring. Now I'm on city council here in Salisbury. And being a father, grandfather, husband, family.
Right. Yeah, so, all the things.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So I just have this, like, I want to take it more serious, man. I want to take it serious.
That's awesome.
Want to jump into the YA world, young adult fiction.
Yeah. And we could talk about this more offline, because I was trying to brainstorm, because there's people we know in that world, in the fiction writing world,
right?
There's the one dude who like writes horror novels, kind of sci-fi horror.
To my Maurice Broadus.
Yes.
Yeah, Maurice. Yeah, man.
Yeah, he'd be a good guy to reach out to.
Right.
Talk to
I think Wendy Grisham too, right?
Yeah, of course.
I know her brother does, but
so what is Wendy doing now? She's back working with a publisher. She's basically she might be like the head of like the British version of Intervarsity.
Oh, okay.
She might be, yeah. for a little while she was working for a festival in the UK. But yeah, now she's back working with why am I blanking on the name of it? Yeah,
Okay.
it's a British publisher. So yeah, I'm sure she would have lots of great ideas too. But I still think, man, and I know we've talked about this too, on and off for forever, like just taking the audio recordings of like your sermon series on the Gospel of Mark and getting those transcribed and edited and put into a book. Like that's a book right there, you know.
Right.
That would be tremendous. I would love to see that happen too, get out into the world.
So with you, man, I mean, you're part of the Poor People's Campaign, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, you're probably being surveillanced by, you know, a special unit of the FBI right now.
Yep.
Following your every move.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Man? If anybody doesn't know who's watching, I don't know, like, can I even say this? I don't even know.
Oh, I don't know. What are you going to say?
What your role in the Poor People's Campaign?
Do you know what my role is?
Well, I mean, I've seen you post about it.
So, I mean, basically, I work for Reverend Barber as his special assistant.
Right.
There's a lot of different things that I do.
Right.
Just to be clear, I have a pretty nebulous job description. A lot of things fall under, you know, other duties as required or as assigned. But in the political world, I'd be considered a body man. In the Black church world, I'd be considered a armor bearer. You know, you'll see me with Reverend Barber and a lot of. I travel with him quite a bit. Reason I'm tired tonight is we've just been on the road for the last 2 weeks, and in Alabama and Tennessee and then Ohio, yeah, just one thing after another. Lots of great stuff happening, but it's all right now. It's all building towards a mass poor people's and low wage workers assembly and moral march on Washington and to the polls in DC on June 18th, Saturday, June 18th. So everything we're doing is about trying to get folks to come to DC, have this mass gathering on June 18th. So that's what,
Yeah, hopefully I'll be retired by then, man. I should be able to make that trek.
Yeah, seriously. That would be, I'm trying to imagine you having that 8 hours a day, back in your life to be able to do whatever you set your mind on doing. That's just
right.
That needs to happen. So I'm praying fervently as a righteous man, it will availeth much, I'm sure.
Right. It will, man. It will. Wow.
So yeah. But,
I know you're caught up in movement work, so that gives you a little time to really, if you take, I'm not sure what your sabbatical cycle looks like, but it'd be interesting to see what you're dreaming about, when we're offline, man, like
yeah.
What kind of dreams?
Definitely have some things to share. Thank you. I've been just handed a ginger beer. Awesome. I appreciate you. Anthony says hi, by the way. He says peace. Yeah. So one of the things that I've gotten into recently is TikTok. And yeah. And I don't know, we probably haven't even talked about this much, but for the month of February, I was posting once a day on TikTok. Now you have all kinds of like social media people giving you all kinds of advice.
Mm-hmm.
like how to really grow your following on TikTok, blah, blah, blah. Now they're saying you should post like 2 or 3 times a day.
Good night.
Which to me is kind of crazy, but I have actually kind of caught myself having more and more sort of ideas for content for TikTok. And the thing about TikTok is I could take that and I could post it on Instagram, Twitter. I could post it I could post it on my Facebook page, although I haven't really been doing that. I could post it in all these other places. So it's, it's not just TikTok. Instagram, Twitter, I could post it. I could post.
No, you good.
Okay. I always have to like, wait, what happened? So a couple months ago, like one of the big things on TikTok, and I don't think you're on TikTok, right?
This is my election.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, but one of the big things on there is like these alternate reality effects, where like people can use different effects on their videos, and there's like a whole bunch of them. And I was sort of getting curious about, how do you develop those? Who creates those? And of course, that led me to a Google search. That led me to a YouTube video. That led me back to the TikTok website, where I found out that you could apply to a private beta program, which I did. And literally like a week later, I was invited. They accepted my application. And I was invited to a training with like 300 people from all over the world to learn how to create AR effects for TikTok using their proprietary platform, which is called Effect House. And so I did that. And this should be fun because I haven't looked at this in a minute. So since I got started on doing that, I've created 5 AR effects. And of those, let's see here.
You get paid for that?
I get paid nothing for this.
But you get the chance to work with TikTok. That's the
and potentially create some like most of the AR effects on TikTok are goofy makeup or just they're just fun, right? Nothing wrong with that. But like the way my brain works is like, how could this be used for social justice? How could this be used to present like a positive message, or you know what I mean?
Right.
So now I've been having some fun with it too. I have one AR effect that has almost 1 million views.
Oh wow.
I did that one was called Presidential Cutouts, and maybe you've seen these effects on where like it's a picture but like the eyes are cut out or the mouth is cut out. So I did one where the mouth was cut out on different portraits of different presidents.
Wow.
And I launched it right around President's Day.
Okay.
And so it really kind of blew up. And so that one's got the most views. But I also did a Stand with Ukraine one, which is just like, it's just hashtag Stand with Ukraine. It's got the Ukraine flag waving in the background. That one's got over 500,000 views. And then of course I had to do an Enneagram one because I'm a pretty big Enneagram nerd. There's far nerdier, bigger nerds about the Enneagram out there.
Bro.
But that one's got like 44,000 views. I did a Poor People's Campaign one that's got 41,000 views so far. And then I did one, they had a challenge. TikTok had a challenge for the AR effect creators around Valentine's Day. So I did a love languages one, and that one didn't really take off. Only 25,000 views on that one. But like, and I've got more ideas of stuff I want to do with that, but it's more like, how could this be used to communicate and educate people about different, social justice issues and
Right.
things like that. So I'm definitely going to create, probably the next one I'll do is probably going to be like a June 18th sort of focused one. But anyway, and just the thing that I think is working well for me is like, there's things like, one of my strengths is input. Like you're constantly reading stuff all the time. I'm reading and consuming online stuff. I don't read books like you do, but I'm constantly consuming social media, and news articles and headlines and this type of thing. What's trending, what's happening in the news on a daily basis. And then I get, I have like little commentaries on different things. And so I did one today. Was it today or yesterday? About the whole daylight saving time thing, and Congress moving to pass to make daylight saving time permanent and all that. So, just like little political commentaries.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that you speak about that, because I'm almost done with this book.
It's blurry. What does it say?
It's called How to Do Nothing, Resisting the Attention Economy by Jenny Odell. So as I'm reading this, she's talking about how in the digital world in which we're in, with social media, how part of the challenge that she says part of the reason why people are falling into, I think not the whole reason, but part of the reason people falling into half-truths and disinformation, and it's just because we live in a world now where information is sent out without context. Because people don't have time for context, like what preceded this, like for instance, people, people getting upset because about getting upset with Russia because their gas prices are going up.
Right.
Right. A lot of now people not understanding the larger context of, Ukraine being a part of the former Soviet Empire and all that kind of stuff, and ethnic divides, language, just that whole thing. Ukraine want to be a part of NATO possibly, and Putin doesn't want that, and so all that stuff goes out the box. So when you said that about how when you look at trends, you begin to think about commentary. And so, this idea popped in my head, like, as you flesh that idea out, just saying that commentary piece, whatever anecdotal thing you add to it, try to find ways to throw context in there, even if it's simplified, you know what I mean? Because
yeah. It's interesting that you say that, because obviously there is the allure, if you will, of like getting a large following and being a quote influencer.
Right.
And like, I think a lot of people chase that clout.
Right.
And the types of videos, and I'm not saying like the types of videos that I feel, and again, not necessarily my most successful videos that I posted, they're not the ones that have gotten the most views, but the ones that I'm like, kind of the groove that I'm kind of getting into is where, I take a screenshot of an article and I put it up in the background. And again, I use an AR effect called green screen to show that article. So the whole, or at least at the beginning of my video, you're literally seeing the article that I'm talking about. Now, TikTok is really bad about, like, they only give you a very, very small amount of space to put a description on a video. There's not enough room there to put a link. And I'm not super, like, there are solutions. There are solutions that I could like spend time And maybe I need to do this to really invest in context.
But
my thought is, I'm giving you the headline. I'm telling you it's from this website. If you want to find it, you can Google it and you'll have it in seconds.
right.
It's not going to be hard to find. But yeah, so I give that context. And for the daylight saving time thing, it was an article from Reuters about the Senate passed this bill. And then I basically shared some stuff from a BuzzFeed article about the history of daylight saving time and where it came from, and and all that. So
I tell you, a person that I've considered like who's become my Jedi master in teaching me how to give context in like social media time is my man Ezra Klein.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Ezra Klein show. Ezra's good at like just giving world history in like 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Given this like long drawn out chronology of modern geopolitics in literally a couple minutes. You're like, oh, okay, that's what's up. Okay, I get that. He starts off in a continental drift after the Ice Age, all the way up to presidency of Barack Obama in like 5 minutes, man.
I'm gonna have to spend more time, checking out his stuff. Yeah.
I mean, you got to spend that much time as he does, because his podcast is kind of heady. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, but man, I mean, sometimes things don't need context, just because it's just fun. You know what I mean? It's whatever. But
and there's a lot of that on TikTok, and I indulge in just some of the trendy stuff too from time to time. That's just fun to do. But hey, we've got a question here in the Facebook chat.
Okay.
From Dustin Wilson.
My man.
What Enneagram are y'all? That's
Oh, Dustin, man. That's my other brother.
Oh, yep. Well, I could say I'm a 7.
Steve, you tell me, man, because I've tried to all kind of, I've never, because the thing is, like, I get told, because I had a chance to sit down and spend some time with Susan Stabile.
Yeah.
Right.
What she said. Yeah.
She was like, she's one of them old school, like, I can't tell you. Right.
Yes.
You have to learn the ways of the Force.
Yes, exactly.
You got to go through all this.
That's right.
Stuff and get the wisdom and contemplate and whatever else, man.
Yeah.
Walk through fire, walk over hot coals or something. I don't know, but it was like and I was like, nah, this is too much, man. But then I found something one day. It was like one of those quick quiz type things,
Yeah.
And it says I was a 5.
Okay.
But I'm like, I don't even know what that means.
So
you tell me, man, what am I?
Let's look at the description of the Enneagram 5, because if it's the one that I'm thinking of, then I think it.
So what are you again? You're a 6?
I'm a 7.
7.
I'm a 7. Yeah.
What is that?
So the 7 is the enthusiast.
Okay.
I am like, super extroverted. Like, I'm off the charts extroverted. When I did the Myers-Briggs, I was like literally off the charts extroverted.
Yeah, I'm
but the 7 is like, what, FOMO, like always fear of missing out. Like, where's, like, this is fun, but where's the party after this party? What are we going to do next?
I'm thinking about Memphis right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
We won't talk about Memphis.
Gosh. Oh Lord.
Lost in the city of Memphis in the middle of the night.
Walking in Memphis. Yes.
Disoriented.
Yeah.
Ahead, man.
I didn't get to Beale Street this time.
Right.
But yeah. Oh my. That's a deep cut there. That's a deep cut. But yeah, like, so that's the Enneagram 7. That's me. Enneagram 5. Let's read this and see if this sounds like you. 5s are alert, insightful, and curious. They're able to concentrate and focus on developing complex ideas and skills. Independent, innovative, and inventive, they can also become preoccupied with their thoughts and imaginary constructs. They become detached, yet high-strung and intense. They typically have problems with eccentricity, nihilism, and isolation.
Yeah, bro.
At their best, they're visionary pioneers, often ahead of their times and able to see the world in an entirely new way. The Buddha is an example. Albert Einstein, Stephen Hawking, Vincent van Gogh, Salvador Dali.
Any prominent nihilist?
Nietzsche.
Yep. Okay.
Sartre.
I resonate with Nietzsche. Yeah.
Yeah, Nietzsche, Sartre.
Yeah.
Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, definitely Kurt. Yeah.
Trent Reznor. Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Stanley Kubrick. Werner Herzog. David Lynch. David Fincher. Gary Larson, the creator of The Far Side.
Oh, wow.
Annie Leibovitz, Julian Assange.
Yeah.
And Fox Mulder from the X-Files.
Yep. I read
so they called the Enneagram 5 the investigator. Let's see. They want to understand how the world works, whether it's the cosmos, the microscopic world, or the inner world of their imaginations. They're always searching, asking questions, delving into things in depth. They do not accept received opinions and doctrines, feeling a strong need to test the truth of most assumptions for themselves.
Right. Yeah, I'm a 5, man.
Okay.
I got it bad too, bro.
You've heard enough. There's one, I don't see it here. I'll send this link to you. This is on the Enneagram Institute website. And I'm not sure if it's this one or if there's another one. There's one personality type that it's like they like pretend they prefer to spend time in books rather than doing just about anything else, kind of thing.
So like Luddite.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So I'm just scanning. I don't see it here, so that might be something else. But yeah,
Yeah, I'll get into the action, man. Like
yeah, it just the thing about the Enneagram that makes it my favorite thing is that, like, a lot of personality profiles are, it's like, here's what makes you unique and special and great. The Enneagram is like good and bad. It's like, so here's for each personality type, there's a basic fear and a basic desire, and then you have what are called wings. So and the wing is always the number on either side of your number. So if you're a 5, you either have a 4 wing or a 6 wing.
Okay.
I'll tell you what the wings are, and you decide just based on the titles what you think you are. 5 with a 6 wing is the problem solver. Okay. 5 with the 4 wing is the iconoclast.
Yeah, I can be iconoclastic, man.
Yes. Yeah. See, that's what I was thinking. So yeah.
To a fault, yeah. But definitely that nihilism piece, man. I do wrestle with that.
Right. Right.
Because I think about, like I told somebody the other day, how you have some people that they're driven to make their name known, right? To make their mark in the world and all that.
Yeah.
And so recently I've come to this place where, like, I've come to the realization that because somebody kind of made a comment because of things I've been doing recently in my own community, right? People gonna know you, like, your name's gonna be. I was like, man, once I die, about maybe a generation or two, I'll be forgotten about. Just like we don't know people that we don't know personally. Like, we don't know about people maybe that lived 4 or 5 generations ago that were part of our families or networks. That's
Yeah.
how I've been forgotten about. Like, so that doesn't seem to be a good motivation for me to do what I do. So like, I'm not doing it so that you will remember my name,
Yeah.
because I'm going to be forgotten about one day.
Mm.
And so that's the nihilist in me, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
and it gets me in trouble because, that's a dangerous person who has nothing to lose. And so, like,
There you go. There you go.
The positive side of me says, well, I got to do something positive in the world, right? So it's about now.
Mm-hmm.
It's about how I can make somebody's life better right now.
Yeah.
I'll be forgotten about probably less than a generation, probably next year. Just he'll be forgotten about. So, and that's cool. That's reality. You know what I mean? And so, and today it's really hit me because let's see the without.
Well, I was just thinking about that saying that goes, as long as people remember and say your name, you're sort of kept alive. Your memory is kept alive, and that sort of thing. I've always sort of felt like you and I will probably be remembered as a footnote in a book about the emerging church. That will, and maybe I will have made it into a footnote into a history book about the Poor People's Campaign at this point. I don't know, but I feel like that's about the level of my fame and notoriety.
Right. Yeah, because but it just I tend to it's hard for me to like I don't have a cheery disposition. Like I have when it comes to thinking about stuff, you know what I mean? Like I'll try to be positive, I'll try to be friendly and personable and things like that. But like I don't have this kind of sunshine kind of what's my man what's his name? The dude
Who's always happy.
Yeah, megachurch pastor.
Lakewood. Joel Osteen.
Joel Osteen, yeah, that dude. And so like y'all gotta smile, like somebody painted a smile on his face or something like that.
Yeah.
The nihilist in me, or the nihilist in me, or the cynic in me says, he's got bodies buried somewhere.
He's got cash stashed in his
the walls of the church. Right. And so there's like this part of me, man.
That's for real.
And so that helps me though. You saying that Enneagram kind of helps me realize it's just how I think.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
part of it is you just can't take yourself that serious, man.
Yeah. And one of the interesting things about the 5 is, and the Enneagram in general, what I'm saying is, like, it shows you when you're under stress, kind of where you go, and when you're growing, where you go. So you actually go to 7 when you're under stress. When you're sort of in an unhealthy place, you go to it's just have fun and party and kind of place, I think, and then grow. Your growth place is actually 8, which is the challenger, which is kind of interesting. I actually have more of a 6 wing, which is more of a fear kind of thing. I'm not as much of a challenger as I am when when things happen.
Right.
I react more out of fear than out of, rah, this is how I'm going to tackle this problem.
Right.
Kind of thing.
I definitely feel
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is dangerous because it's crazy because I'm a pastor, which makes it very strange. You know what I mean? Because
sure.
I could be teaching Bible study or giving a sermon. At Mission House, we have a very dialogical approach. We get in dialogue after the sermon, after every service.
Yeah.
We do a clap back. right? And so sometimes I find myself critiquing and questioning my own sermon. Like, why would I say that? Right? Or like when I'm talking to people and people have these kind of dogmas, and I'll be like, well, who told you that? Where'd you get that from?
Yeah.
Like my granddaughters, man, they hate it when I do this. When their birthday comes, and like one of them recently they celebrated their birthday. I can't remember, it was Jalea. I think it was Jalea. Tony, was Jalea's birthday recent? Man, don't ask me that on live, man. We got 6 grandkids right now. I can't even tell you.
Okay.
They little, like big little to like very little. That's what I can tell you.
Big little to very little. I got it.
Very little, yeah.
I got you.
And so I think it was Jalea, her birthday. Tony. She can't hear me. Anyway, I think it was Jalea, which is our next to oldest granddaughter.
Okay.
I think it was her birthday. And she's like, because they call me Grappy.
Yeah.
Right. Because we created a hybrid name of grandfather and pappy, and we made Grappy. Right.
Nice.
Because I'm an iconoclast, right? So
yeah.
There's no other Grappies in the universe. So she's talking to me, she's all excited and everything, you know me, and then my cheery disposition comes out. How do you know you're that age? She was like, well, my mommy told me. And I was like, well, how does your mom know you're that age? Because of my birth certificate. And I was like, well, who wrote your birth certificate? Suppose they got it wrong.
Suppose. Oh, this poor kid.
They're used to it now. And they look at me with pity.
Right.
She just does, and Jalea goes, oh, Grappy. She walks away.
Yeah.
And just, I was like, I can't help myself. So yeah, I'm a challenger.
It kind of sounds like my girlfriend's kids their response to everything is, but why? It's like, and you just get to a certain point, like, because I said so. Because that's just what it.
Right.
That's it. That's yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
So if you ever want to pastor a church, right?
Okay.
And you want your church to become a mega church, don't become a Socratic pastor where you're questioning everything you ever believed every Sunday, and by Monday you don't believe anything.
Yeah.
And then
my goodness.
So between Monday and Saturday, you start to believe again to the end of Sunday service. You don't believe anything by Monday. Not a recipe becoming a,
Yeah.
You don't want to be
my goodness.
Challenger.
Mm.
That's what's up, man. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
5. Okay, I'm looking at that.
Yeah.
Another good book is that I've been I love is Sparked by Jonathan Fields.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. Because what you describe as a 5,
I think yeah. No. What are you gonna say?
Well, the 5 Enneagram fits in with what I am in that field that he has.
Okay. Yeah.
Spark types is what he calls it. Is Maven.
Yeah.
Having an insatiable curiosity to investigate, understand the world, and question things, question orthodoxies, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I feel like this is the podcast. I feel like we need to have more of those book conversations.
Yeah, that resonated with people. The last one we did.
I think so. Yeah. It was fun, and
over 1,000 views, man. That's big where I come from. That's big time.
Nice. Yeah. So you retire, and then we'll start a podcast again.
Cool.
We'll just talk about books.
Wow,
yeah.
Man.
That sounds awesome. Well, it's been like an hour.
Yeah, man. We gotta keep it tight.
I feel like we should end this Facebook Live, and then I have something else I need to talk to you about.
Okay.
Offline.
Okay.
Before we go. before, not, you know what I mean? Not,
Yeah.
but
What's the live start?
yes, that's what I'm saying. All right.
Right.
Thank you, everyone out there who, if you're still watching this, you're awesome. Trip Fuller better be watching this because he was excited about this. So,
Right.
Trip,
Right.
you better be watching this right now.
Yeah.
All right.
If we ever do a live again, we got to add Trip Fuller because that's when we go down the quantum slippery slope for real.
Yes, we will. All right. Ending
So,
the live.